Bhagwan Shri Yogi Ramsuratkumar ki jai. Sarvam Yogi Ramsuratkumara. We see it's raining heavily, as you would have heard. This is how Bhagwan describes God's grace. Bhagwan always declared that God's grace is pouring like rain all the time. You have to learn to receive it. You have to pay attention to it. Then you will know it's pouring. So we have been especially blessed with extra grace today. Now, we have to go through one or two experiences of devotees to taste the sweetness of grace. Yogiji said his name, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, is a mantra. It is the name of God. And it's a mantra packed with the power and grace of God. And then he would often say, do not detach yogi from the name Ramsuratkumar. The name Ramsuratkumar is nothing. It's a name like any other name. But only when you add yogi to it, it becomes a mantra. And then he went on to explain the word yogi. If I am a true yogi, he said, I am beyond time and space. I am everywhere. There is no place where I am not. And I am the past. I am the present. And I am the future. And I am beyond the beyond the beyond. I am beyond time and space. So this is what the word yogi means. Yogi is united with God, union with God. Once you unite with God, what is the difference between you and God? You become God. Now, there have been Westerners, especially when he was still in the body, when he was wandering in the streets of Tiruvannamalai with no specific place to live. Many devotees, many foreign devotees used to come to him. And Will and Joan were a couple, were very earnest, who sought Bhagwan's company. They were the students of Hilda Charlton. People may have heard about her. The spiritual teacher from New York. She was teaching there in a church to her students, whom she called kids. An advanced soul with connection with many great masters. And she used to talk about Yogi Ramsuratkumar to her students, to her kids, even before she met him on the personal plane. She would say, this hidden saint is extraordinary and unique. He is receiving all the essences of God's. He is receiving the whole cosmic energy and channelizing them towards the welfare of the world. Once she sent a letter to Bhagwan through Mr. Lee Lozovic. Lee Lozovic was yet to meet his master, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, his divine master. The very first time he came, she sent a letter to him, and before giving it, she folded the letter several times. What we call in Sanskrit a paribhasha, a special language, a special communication between high souls. She did it several times. On the outset, it looked as though it was a nervous gesture, but then it was a deliberate gesture, a gesture of communication. And when she sent it to Bhagwan, when Mr. Lee brought it to Yogi Ramsuratkumar Bhagwan, when he was seated there in the balcony of the chariot mandap, Bhagwan took the letter from his hand and folded it several times just the way she did. It was as though deciphering the code that Hilda Charlton had sent. It happened to the wonder of all those students, which included Mr. Lee Lozovic. And then Hilda Charlton visited Bhagwan in 1978, bringing with her 26 people. She took a bus from Chennai, and Bhagwan seemed visibly excited. He gave a very strict instruction to Mr. Will, no matter what time she arrives, bring her straight to this beggar. And then he added, only 7 people can come, not all the 26. So Mr. Will received her, and naturally she was very exhausted. It was a bumpy ride. But she knew the instruction of Bhagwan, so 7 of them proceeded straight to Bhagwan's Sanadi Street house. Even as she approached the house, she exclaimed, "Oh, the amazing! There are golden lights here. The very atmosphere is full of golden light." And then she entered. Bhagwan received her very beautifully. She prostrated before him, and Bhagwan commented, "It's not necessary." But she said, "No, it is necessary." And then he garlanded. They had brought garlands Bhagwan took the garland and he garlanded everybody, and finally he had a garland for Hilda. After he garlanded her, he said, "You keep this mala always with you." Will was standing close to her, close to them. And when Bhagwan was talking and giving some instructions to Hilda Charlton, Will says he felt cascades of energy released from Bhagwan, and they came towards him also. He almost fainted, unable to bear the energy. Just as the Muslim Sufis, the Sufi saint in Delhi, fainted when he so much as touched one devotee who had just come from Yogi Ramsuratkumar ashram. The Sufi touched this devotee with a bundle of peacock feathers, and then the Sufi fainted. The Sufi asked the devotee, "Where have you been?" Then the devotee said he had been to Tiruvannamalai, visiting ashrams. And then the Sufi saint said, "Where have you been last? Just before you came to Delhi, which ashram did you visit?" The devotee himself is a Baba, an advanced soul with many siddhis to his credit. So he said, this Baba, Prithviraj said, "I've been to Yogi Ramsuratkumar ashram last, coming straight from there." And then the Sufi said, "Oh, you are carrying extraordinary energy from that ashram, because Yogi Ramsuratkumar has extraordinary energy." Bhagwan had attained Samadhi in 2001 itself, and I think Prithviraj Baba visited in 2004 or something, much after Mahasamadhi. But the Sufis said the ashram is full of his energy. Yogi Ramsuratkumar's extraordinary, unique energy. The energy, the intensity of the energy is such that I am not able to bear it, I fainted. Will also reports that is exactly how he felt. He almost fainted with the cascades of energy rushing towards Hilda and him who was standing close to them. And there were two girls, young girls. One was 7 years, the other one was 9 years, and they were clairvoyant. One of them could see the auras of people. And this girl, Shanti and Valli, she was staring at Bhagwan. Her mouth dropped down. She was gaping, staring and staring and staring at him. And then Hilda knew that the girl had seen something, and then she asked her, "Are you seeing the aura of Yogi Ramsuratkumar?" She said, "Yes." "Describe it." And then the girl said, "It's a huge golden hub extending from horizon to horizon. Such a huge cosmic halo around him with a brilliance, with such brilliance that she was staring. She was unable to take her eyes away from him. And then Will goes on to describe another event. There was a man, there was a Hatha Yogi. This Hatha Yogi was very close, very friendly with Yogi Ramsuratkumar Bhagwan. And Sri Yogiji also was very friendly with him. And this man, this Hatha Yogi, used to call him Old Fox. What a name to call Bhagwan. Good thing we were not there at that time. But Bhagwan received it very well, accepted it, because this man was very close to him. And then he once wrote a letter to this man who was in States at that time. And he signed, Yogi Ramsuratkumar signed Old Fox. That was the kind of friendship between the two of them. And then Bhagwan gave it to Joan, Will's wife, to post it. After he handed the letter to Bhagwan, he said, Joan, be very careful. You should not damage it in any way. Put it in a cover if you like, and then take it to the post office. But then Joan thought there was no necessity for it, that could she not carry a letter safely? So she did not do anything about it, she simply carried. But then she was sweating so much on her way to the post office, the letter got wet. And she must have pressed it in some way. Soon there was a hole. She was terrified now because she ignored his instruction and she thought she could carry it safely to the post office. It was such a simple task, just taking a letter to the post office. So she ignored Bhagwan's instruction and she saw the result of that. Of course, she had no other go but show it to Bhagwan. Bhagwan got angry. Oh, you have spoiled my father's work. You people don't understand. It's not just a mere letter. It's not somebody just writing a letter to another person. Everything that this beggar does is Father's work. It concerns the whole cosmos. Every detail is precious. Every detail is important. Every detail is Father's work. And when you people do not do what I tell you exactly, then the rectification is very difficult for this beggar. This beggar has to suffer. The work is getting spoiled, and for its rectification, this beggar has to suffer. You people don't understand. You people don't understand this beggar, his father's work. If you do any work just as this beggar tells you, it would be easy for this beggar. And then he took the letter and circled the hole with a pen. And then he said, this beggar has done something. Okay, now you take it to the post office. Of course, this time she knew better. So this is the way Yogiji worked. For him, everything was only Father's work. He often declared that he lived only for Father's work. Every look, every word he uttered, every look that he gave, every gesture he made, every step that he took, it was Father's work, cosmic work, getting done. Whatever he did, whatever we do, they are not one and the same. Whatever he did had repercussions on the cosmic level. So he often warned people who worked for him. And I had seen him enter into any work with instant and total concentration. And he would pull out of the work when the work is over. Instantly and with total concentration. Instant withdrawal. Instant concentration, instant withdrawal. Instant and total withdrawal. And after that we should not linger over the work. He would immediately go to the next work 100%. And there is no lingering over. This is the way a cosmic being works. Everything about him is a huge, precious detail for the whole cosmos, a welfare detail for the whole cosmos. And then Will reports another incident. Bhagwan used to visit Tirukovilur, Tapovanam, Shri Gnanananda Giri, Swami's Tapovanam. After the Mahasamadhi of Shri Gnanananda, when Swami came to hear about it in Tiruvannamalai, he wanted to go immediately to Tapovanam. At the time, Will and Joan were with him. Sometimes they would stay with him for months. So Bhagwan, some devotees were going, and then they offered place for Bhagwan and these two in their car. So they reached Tapovanam, and there they were given a room. But Yogiji could not be confined to a room with two other people. Soon he came out, he sat in the veranda, and what was more, he would not even look at these two people. With such love, care and concern, he was moving with them. But after they landed in Tapovanam, he began to ignore them. If these people came near, he would turn his face away. Or he would go away from the place. So they got the message that they were not welcome anymore. They were very hurt by it. But then they went away. Will says it took 5 years before they understood what he was doing, why he was behaving the way he was. After 5 years, when they met him, Swami explained that he had very serious father's work to do in Tapovanam. He had to do a lot of work upon the situation in that place. Now that the Swami, Shri Gnanananda Giri, had attained Mahasamadhi, Yogiji had much work to do there, that place. For that, their presence was not conducive. Yogiji said he lived only for Father's work, and those who helped him with Father's work in any circumstance, he would be able to be with them only. If some people are not helping him in the work, he could not be with them. So he said their presence was totally unnecessary for the kind of work he had to do upon the ashram there. So he sent them away. So this is another glimpse of the way Yogiji worked. And once, after he left, that is Tapovanam, when Mr. Will and his wife Joan left Bhagwan, and then they got involved with some people in Chennai. Taylor Badlington was also there. The three of them together, they started to experiment with the psychedelic drugs in order to enhance the spiritual experiences they were having. There was a Swami there in Chennai who lured these people with a ready package for self-realization, instant self-realization. He gave them these drugs so that they would feel an exaggerated awareness of higher experiences. But the experiment proved to be disastrous for Mr. Will. Somehow an enmity developed between the Swami of Chennai and Mr. Will, and the Swami did some black magic on Mr. Will. With the result, Mr. Will was not able to take any food at all. For 15 days, he suffered so much. And there was constant confusion in his mind. He was absolutely miserable. And then he wrote a letter. Now he had to come back to his old friend, guide and philosopher, his guru, Yogi Ramsuratkumar. So he wrote in detail, and then Bhagwan asked him to come. So after he came, Bhagwan was very nice to him. He took him inside, sat with him for 1 hour, holding his hand, and after that, all the sufferings he was going through because of the black magic left him completely free from the evil effect. He became completely all right. So, there are many other experiences of Mr. Will and Joan. For lack of time, we shall stop at this. Enough to know the way Bhagwan worked upon people. Hilda Charlton used to say that the others may give blessings, but Yogiji burnt the karmas, the root of suffering. He removed the root of suffering by burning them, by smoking. He was very special and stood apart from the rest. This was her verdict after what she experienced, because I think they were there with Bhagwan for 6 days, Hilda and her group. And the next time Hilda visited him, next day, Bhagwan all of a sudden got intoxicated. He began to dance wildly. And it was so extraordinarily beautiful. And streams of light were pouring out of him while he danced, singing, Shri Rama, Jai Rama, Jai Jai Rama. So there are experiences and experiences of people who were sensitive enough to his energy, to his field of energy, to his grace. They had the openness to his grace. Now that Bhagwan, with his extraordinary grace, is here before us in the form of a statue which is no statue. He said, "This is my Father himself. Do not think it's a statue. It's my Father. It's infused with Father's power and grace." With his raised hand in benediction, there's a constant flow of grace Let us appeal to his generosity, the tremendous grace, the blessing power of his, to intervene immediately and rescue the entire humanity from the Rakshasic clutches of this virus, this teeny tiny virus, unseen, holding the whole world in its grip now. There is so much of spread of fear, spread of disease, spread of poverty. There are many, many people who are unable to go out for their daily wages, hardly anything to eat. Only Bhagwan can, the cosmic being, doing his tremendous work of his Father. Bhagwan, please intervene. We secured immediate divine intervention to bring back normalcy, a dharmic normalcy in every aspect of life, everywhere. And Bhagwan, you have to make the vaccines announced by the medical researchers work, kill this virus once for all. Unless you enter them, how can we expect the potency of the medicine can come only from you, from the divine. And Bhagwan, thou art the Saviour. Please save us from the downfall of economy also. And all those soldiers at the borders in defense of the country, and the COVID soldiers, warriors, who are here in the field battling with the disease at the very risk of their life, in order to save other lives. Please give them protection, health, longevity, and the all-round wellness of their families. And again, we seek your grace for all those migrant workers to settle down with sufficient income. Above all, as you said, the name Yogi Ramsuratkumar is a mantra packed with power and grace. And its mantra also, the meaning of the mantra is that it's beyond time and space. Yogi means the one beyond time and space. And that's why Bhagwan said, without the word yogi, Ramsuratkumar has no power. It's a name, just like any other name, but when you say Yogi Ramsuratkumar, it is at once the precious, powerful mantra of the Supreme, and it's meant for liberation. Liberation not only from the virus, but from the Rakshasic grip of the ego. So please bless us with constant remembrance of your name, constant awareness that we are only instruments in your hands. And please give us immediate relief from the suffering the world is going through now. Jai Yogi Ramsuratkumar.